In this video, we're gonna explain graphing of functions. So in the previous video, we said that we can express the function f of x as x squared plus 1, let's say. So if you wanna graph this function, then you just plot different values of x and see what you'll get as the value of y. This is the fastest way to do that. So if you have here, this is x and this is y, which is the output of your function. So let's say I usually like to take some negative numbers and some positive numbers, and I just see the output of the function. So let's say if x is equal to -3, what should be the y? So you just plug -3, replacing the x squared and then plus 1. So you're going to get that the y is going to be equal to 10, right? And then you go on, replace the -2 inside the x. So you're going to get that the y is 5. Replace -1 inside the x. So you're going to get that the y is 2. And then you're going to continue until you have some of the values that you want. So this is 5 and here this is 10. So you have a set of x values and a set of y values. So now you can go ahead and represent this on an xy plane. Okay. So you just plot the values. If you have x to be -3, then the y here is going to be 10. So you go up here and you plug -3 and 10. And now if you have x to be -2, the y is 5. So if this, you just do a random scale. Again, here we're just sketching. If you have y to be 5 here, when x is equal to -2. And then when x is equal to -1, y is going to be equal to 2. So you have another point here. You have when x is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. And you go on and you plot the values you have here. So you'll end up with a graph of the function that looks like that, roughly, and it's a rough sketch, right? So if you want to sketch any function, you just take some values of x and you just find some values of y and you just plot the points and connect the points you just plotted. You can also get questions where you actually have the graph of the function and you're going to ask for some values. So let's say I have something like this. And if I gave you that this point is, let's say, 2 and 3, and this point you have here is -4 and 1. Notice that in the same concept, this means when x is equal to -4, y is going to be equal to 1. And here, when x is equal to 2, y is going to be equal to 3. So if I don't give you an equation, and if I ask you for f of 2, then you just know that this is, he's asking for the value of y when x is equal to 2. So what's the value of y when x is equal to 2? It's equal to 3. And here, if I asked for f of -4, again, I don't have a function to plot -4 in, but I have a graph. So when x is equal to -4, I go at x equal -4 here, and I just get the value of y corresponding to this point, which is 1. What if you want to find f of 4? Well, if I go, this means that the x is going to be 4. So if I go to x equal 4 here, I need to go up and read this point, the coordinates of this point. So it has a coordinates x equal 4, and I get the value of y here, depending on the scale that you have. So let's say if this gives me 5, so this means when x is equal to 4, y is going to be equal to 5, depending on the scale you have. And let's take another example. What if you want to find f of -2? So this means what's the value of y when x is equal to -2? So if you have the graph, you go to the graph when x is equal to -2. So here this is -2. you go up till you reach the graph and you want to read the coordinates of this point. So it has an x of -2 and a y coordinate correspond to this coordinate. Okay, so let's say it looks on the same level as this point, so let's say it's 3 as well. So this means when x is equal to -2, y is going to be equal to 3. So this is going to be your final answer.